kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, through that I survived, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit into the sky, changed haters on a tirade. Talking to the crib in the face, be still, like that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bib. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense, cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's capped. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
Truth in the glass in the mirror.
Yeah.
Do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that, and he cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the ad, but it's all fun. We done seen it all, heard it all. Heard enough, give me space before I murder y'all. 10 bad here, I'ma curve them all. 12 missed calls, and I still made a curtain call. Here to light it up, lighten up. Hear him talking, they ain't right enough, tighten up. Everything that I came for, I left with. I don't bang sets, I just bang on the set list. Going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young, tell me reckless. Gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace.
Light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up. Well, well. Oh, light it up, light it up. Ah, light it up, light it up. Well, well. Light it up, light it up. Ah, light it up, light it up. Well, well. Oh, light it up, light it up. Ah, light it up, light it up. Well, well.
Yeah, I don't think they know that's my word. I don't think they know that's my word. Yeah, that's my hold up.
Big on the set, what they said, part. So I skip straight ahead to the bread part. Top out, I'm cool on the chick chat. With the kid, know I got the gift back. Big on the set, what they said, part. So I skip straight ahead to the bread part. Top out, I'm cool on the chick chat. With the kid, know I got the gift back.
Keep it real with you, I've been in the field in position. Look, hey, I'm being trill, you can tell by how I feel when you with me. Look, wave, tell me, can you slide for a real one?
Slide for me, slide for me.
Can you slide for a real one?
Slide for me, slide for me.
Can you slide for a real one? Can you slide for a
And again, I got to be honest with you. They hate public education. I think they hate it for the reason we all know in here. It's easier to run an authoritarian government if you don't have a population that knows. So again, obviously I don't have all the answers, but I think it's appealing to people's sense of decency. Again, I should be careful about that. I thought a message that we should value all people and we should have an immigration policy that adheres to the law but adheres to humanity. And they talked about eating dogs and cats, and they won. And so I myself am soul searching when I hear this. How in God's name, of all the money that's being spent and all the tax cuts they're giving, We can't fund those interventions that we know make a difference in millions of children's lives. I can't believe America wouldn't go for that.
Believe me, if Donald Trump is president again, at some point or another, that ugliness will touch all of our lives. And it will not matter what you look like, how you worship, who you love, or how you vote. If you don't make 6 or 8 or 12 figures, if you're not famous, if you criticize or disagree with him in any way, if he doesn't view you as his equal or relevant to his ambitions, I promise you, he will not think about you when he gets into the Oval Office. Believe me, if Donald Trump is president again, at some point or another, that ugliness will touch all of our lives. And it will not matter what you look like, how you worship, who you love, or how you vote. If you don't make 6 or 8 or 12 figures, if you're not famous, if you criticize or disagree with him in any way, if he doesn't view you as his equal or relevant to his ambitions, I promise you, he will not think about you when he gets into the Oval Office.
In a weird Elon Musk interview today on Fox, he said something not completely coherent about Social Security and 8-year-olds. Now, what you can be absolutely sure of is that Elon Musk had no idea that Social Security actually does, before he took over Social Security anyway, pay 8-year-olds. He surely had no idea that there are thousands of 8-year-olds and 6-year-olds and infant babies receiving Social Security. Because when a parent of children under the age of 18 dies, that child receives survivor benefits from that parent's Social Security account. So yes, there are Social Security checks going out to the oldest people in America and to the youngest people in America, and every child receiving survivor benefits from Social Security wishes they weren't.
Ton of leverage. The one thing they have leverage is in the Senate, where you need a filibuster-proof majority on a cloture bill. That there's essentially an unconstitutional assault on the government right now, and I think you would agree with that.
There
right?
is.
An assault on the constitutional.
These guys are the worst, and we got to fight them every step of the way. As we say in Brooklyn, Chris, every effing step of the way.
But look, Russ Vought is already telling people, but he's telling people on the floor, we are not even going to listen to this CR. This is a piece of paper that we will impound and rip up the moment it's passed. If that's the case, how is voting for cloture not essentially an imprimatur on the very same assault on the constitutional order?
They're already, even without this CR, they're already doing it.
Right.
Okay? They did it to the Department of Education. But I can tell you, I've been through shutdowns before. It's not that this CR is good. It's not that voting for it is good. It's horrible. But the alternative is worse. And we...
So I want to tell you why I'm voting against the Republican funding bill when it comes up for a vote tomorrow. You deserve to know the stakes here. First of all, you get this, Trump has a plan, and he's implementing it to destroy our economy and our government, to create a crisis that allows him to hand our government over to his billionaire friends and to suspend our democracy. I wish that weren't true, but it is. The question then is this: does the funding bill make it easier or harder for Trump to implement that plan? Now, I judge that it makes it easier, and so I can't support it. The basics here are this: Republicans are in charge, right? They need Democratic votes to pass a funding bill, but they never negotiated with Democrats. They didn't even try. They wrote their own partisan bill. They filled it with all sorts of right-wing shit. This isn't a continuing resolution. It doesn't just continue last year's funding, even though the press is reporting it that way. It makes big changes to law, and they're all changes designed to make it easier for Trump to implement that plan to destroy our country. For instance, it makes massive cuts to housing programs, to Social Security, to programs for healthcare for working families. That paves the way for Musk to advance his illegal assault on those government services. It gives Trump brand new spending powers. For instance, the ability to start new military programs that haven't even been authorized by Congress. At this moment of crisis, that sounds like a really dangerous idea. And it takes key guardrails off of presidential spending authority. That allows Trump and Musk to more easily move money from one account to the other. Now listen, Trump and Musk are going to keep acting illegally, no matter what this funding bill says. Whether we stop them, that's going to be up to the courts and up to our ability to mobilize people all over the country against their agenda, which is deeply, deeply unpopular. But by passing a bill that makes their plan easier to implement, Democrats risk putting a kind of bipartisan veneer of endorsement on their campaign to give our government to the billionaires and to destroy the rule of law. And I just won't be a part of that.
I am a no. I will not support what they're calling a continuing resolution, but it's not. It actually is a surrendering of the powers of Congress to the president and Elon Musk. He does not have the power to make spending decisions. Congress does, but not if we pass the CR. This would give them 6 months to do some pretty awful things. We've already seen what they're willing to do to the Department of Education, to the VA, cancer research, and more. And now this literally gives them license to destroy, to move large money around, to punish certain states against other states. They're cutting funding to local communities. There is so much bad stuff baked into this. Congress has a job to do. We swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, not to surrender Article 1 constitutional powers to the executive. Trump and Musk, I don't want them to have more power to do that. I will vote no. I am a no.
That assumes that millions of people are not standing up and saying, you know what? We're a democracy, not an authoritarian society. Don't undo the Constitution of the United States. You're not going to throw 83,000 workers off the Veterans Administration. You're not going to cut the Social Security staff so that elderly people will die while they're waiting to get the benefits that they paid into. You're not going to take food away from hungry kids. If you do nothing, you sit back and you say it is going to be terrible. And that's right. A shutdown will be terrible. But our job is to put the onus on the Republican president, the Republican House, the Republican Senate, the people who control the government. They are responsible. They've acted in an undemocratic, unprecedented, unilateral way. They've given us an offer, take it or leave it. That ain't the way democracy works.
But back then, you didn't think that was a reason to vote to impeach Donald Trump, how he treated Zelensky and what he did back then?
Well, I believe in the United States Constitution, and that really was the final straw that broke the camel's back with Donald Trump, because he wanted me to advocate violating the United States Constitution in my Republican primary for the United States Senate. And I told him I wasn't going to do it. I took my oath of office to that United States Constitution. And so that's where my loyalties lie now. They lie to our country. And, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He's going to do what he's going to do. But right now, he's about like the proverbial bull in the china closet. A lot of damage is being done.
Federal employees are also American citizens. We are not simply customers of the federal government. We make up the federal government. When you look at the effect of laying off that many people, we're laying off tens of thousands of Americans, potentially hundreds of thousands of Americans are losing their jobs. So even separate from what the job does, that hurts the country. It's bad when hundreds of thousands of people lose their jobs for the economy of the country, for those people, for our communities.
You're 100% right. If there was a good case to make that it would actually promote effectiveness of our government to get rid of some number of federal employees, then I think it makes sense, because it's not a jobs program. People are there to serve the public. But the reality is there is zero, in fact, negative evidence that that is the case. There's been no study, no evidence to say that what they're doing, who they are firing, actually is going to make our government more efficient or more effective. In fact, it's clearly the opposite. There is every reason to believe the price tag is going to be very large, not only in the liabilities that they create by doing things like firing people illegally, but in the services that the American public are not going to receive. What is most likely to happen is, if there is significant pushback from the public, which I think there will be, that you're going to wind up paying more money by hiring contractors. When I say that the headcount of our federal government is the same size as it was in 1969, I'm not arguing that our government is the same size as it was in 1969. You look at the budgets have gone up a lot. The functions of our government have gone up a lot. But it's not by federal employees. It's generally by contractors. Again, there are some reasons to hire contractors, but that is not the good reasons that are typically the ones that are being used. So we are watching an incredibly expensive vanity project in some ways. I'm not sure what to call it. I can't find the rationale. There's nothing good about this. There's just simply no good reason for what is occurring.
Work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not starts now.
Let me see if I'm out of focus here. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
Okay. Switch us, David. Put me there. We go. Yeah. Anywho, how you doing this morning, Mr. Benjamin?
I'm good now. I guess I'm in the right position now. You can't let me be on the first side of the
no, because
screen.
it was giving weird vibes. It was giving like you let the woman stand out on the side of the road.
It didn't feel right to you.
It didn't feel right. You know, it wasn't good. But now we are. Now we are right. Give me 1 second. I can feel y'all can hear the overheating of my laptop. So let me
No, I don't hear it.
Okay.
But if it's about to explode, go ahead and take it.
It's given too many apps are up and it's only about 3, but it's not the capacity that this laptop can hold. It's about 20 years old. I'm just kidding. What, 10 years old?
Is that the same laptop you had back when we were
absolutely? And it's breaking apart.
You are stretching.
It's breaking apart. Let me tell you, the other day I was editing. And while I was editing, baby, the glitches was coming from the inside. And I said, what? Now, how was it coming from? It was crazy. The glitches were coming from not even like the apps I was using on my computer, but the like the apps that I was using in a browser. The glitching on my computer synced with the, like it was like glitching everywhere. Emails, everything. I don't know, but it's pretty bad. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know how much longer I got. And so we're gonna keep working with it. I can't. I saw the prices of them laptops.
The longest running usage of a MacBook. I mean, you got the MacBook.
I got the OG.
The old with the old power supply. It's about that wide.
Yes, I do. Absolutely. And guess how much it's going on sale for when when my other one, because those are the MacBooks where even the charger overheats.
Yeah.
All right. Because the one before that, this is how I know this one is old. The one that I had before that, my father purchased me, and it had a little battery booty that you could pop out in exchange, right? You could purchase like another one of those. The one I got right now, they are price gouging for the charger itself. I paid what a new MacBook charger cost for this charger because they're like so unavailable. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. But
I mean, a new MacBook is like a minimum $1,500. So how much did you pay for that charger?
Oh no, for the charger. I'm talking about for their chargers for those computers.
Oh, the charger. Okay.
Yeah, no.
I'm about to say because that wouldn't have been a good use of resources. But okay, I got you. I heard you wrong. So I'm doing well this morning, though, Rebecca. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, another day, another Trump situation. Day? Yeah.
That's the law. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you would say another day's journey.
And I'm glad. Glad.
And I'm so glad about it. I'm glad.
Wait, you be doing that
my Haitian vibrato. I think that's my Haitian side because a lot of Haitians have a overdose of vibrato. Like,
oh, good.
There's a song that I was singing the other day, and it was came in my spirit. It's a Haitian song, and I was singing it, and it was like "Setami." That's my regular way singing it, but I'm like, that's not right. I gotta go "Setami." That's the one. Allow me. They always sing like that. It's like you can't sing as a Haitian if you don't have vibrato. Overpowering vibrato.
I don't know what you said, but I know that tune.
You know the tune, Jesus. Come on, you got it, baby. You in the church. You in the church.
You know. Folks didn't think I was years ago, but I've always been in the church. I don't know if there's
always been in the church. In the church.
In the church.
But what else
Rebecca,
going on with you?
It is just grabbing hold of all that's happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trump messing with South Africa, and I'm like, y'all gonna make me see. I thought I was ethnic because I was Black American, and my blood boils when I see them messing with Black Americans, which they doing extra hard as we Black folks in general, but specifically Black Americans. But then I see them messing with South Africa. And I'm like, I feel like, Wakanda forever. I feel like, we would not have it. Oh, I feel like, hold on now, this is a whole nother level. You trying to mess with our people all across the globe on behalf of that, not even South. See, when we talk about Elon Musk, I don't even think of him as South African. I think of him like as an insect, as a pest, a virus that spreads, because they're not even authentically South African. They're colonizers to South Africa. So that's been a little bit triggering this week. I ain't gonna lie.
So what exactly, because there's so much that's been going on, so I haven't gotten the details about exactly how they're how he's Trump is South Americans are trying to attack Black Americans. You say that is like
no, South Africa.
South Africans is
Donald Trump and Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, they are going after South Africa so hard. They just kicked out
Elon Musk. Is his South Africa, because he claimed that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't consider them South Africa. Elon Musk is a colonizer.
He's an OG colonizer, like those people.
Like they don't. I don't consider them South African. I consider them as an invasive species to South
Absolutely.
Africa. That's what Elon Musk.
Illegal aliens.
Yes, invaders, illegal aliens to South Africa. And because South Africa is pushing back on, they're still pushing back against apartheid. They're reallocating the land that was stolen from Black South Africans by the Dutch and by various European factions. They are with what's called expropriation without compensation. They're taking the land back and they're giving it back to South Africans without paying white folks not a dime. So all the white South Africans are like, oh, it's the end. Not all of them, but a good bit of them. Oh, we're so oppressed. The Black man is oppressing us in South Africa. So
there was a whole video that was made, and I want to say it was like in South Africa. I really want to say it was South Africa, but I saw where white people, it was like, and this was actual and factual, where white people and the laws had turned in this particular area, and I want to say it's somewhere in South Africa I know it's in Africa, where white people had went and colonized the area, but then Black people in power, when they got in power, they kicked white people out to the curb. They made it so that, I think we covered it, Ben. We actually did cover it a few years back on the show. We played the clip and I can't remember where it was, but white people were kicked out when the Black, I believe, Black leader became in power again and took back leadership of the country. And then they took the white people and pushed them out, and they became unhoused. And we're living in the former huts that some of the Black folks used to live in the area. And they were neighbors to some of the Black folks that they used to laugh at or pass up on the street now in the huts, right? They hungry, they trying to go over to their neighbor house. They like, no, whatever. And then the law became, for all the jobs that that white people have right now, replace them and put them first for Black people. So all the Black people, they will come and work those jobs.
I don't remember that one in context of South Africa. Somebody in the chat says that you're probably talking about Zimbabwe.
So maybe it was Zimbabwe.
But the pattern, right? That same pattern is present. One thing I don't understand about South Africa, and I know some of our South African friends will probably laugh at me, but I don't understand how you a colonizer. You come to South Africa, you take everything from Black South Africans, and you still end up with a impoverished white population, poor white folks over there who want us to feel sorry for them. But like, how do you go invade another nation to take what they have, and then you still end up at the bottom of the totem pole? It's something that blows me away. It's like, if you were going to be poor, why don't you just stay where you were? I know it's a generational thing, right? But it's just hilarious that even in their colonizing of Africa, there's still some not so bright white people who don't realize that this colonization, this capitalism, all that, it don't work for you no more than work for nobody else. And so you come over here, you go to South Africa, and you think that you're superior, and then you still end up being poor and toothless. I don't get that. You might as well stay wherever you came from.
No, just poor, it's kind of like what's going on here. These people that are coming every day onto social media to cry about Donald Trump's laws or whatever he's trying to put in place, and y'all been toothless 8 years. You've been voting for this man, and he ain't never provide you with no tooth. He ain't never provide you with not
a dentist. Can't go to a dentist.
And here you are, just wanting to disrespect folks and vote in the name of white power. And then he didn't include you into that white power dossier. You weren't there, baby. You were just not included. And now you won't. And then you too, my beloved immigrant, right? The one that thought that he was excluded because his likeliness to whiteness, you know, you are the good black or the good immigrant or the good. And then you realize after your vote, you just the ER.
You're not even as good as a ER. You are like you're gonna be the one end up with a mouth full of no rotten teeth and no money, no Social Security, no Medicaid, like out on the street dying because of your white supremacy. That's the thing. Don't get me wrong. All of us getting hurt. All of us getting hurt. Like all of our benefits getting cut. All of our protections are getting gutted. But they're doing it to us because, you know, we're black and we are victims of capitalism. You did this to yourself because you thought you better than black people. That's the thing. All across the globe, how many impoverished white folks looking crazy in the face right now because you thought you were going to get the leg up because of white supremacy, and here you are, toothless. No dental insurance.
Toothless. Can't get your Ozempic. Can't get, and for the ones that got diabetes for real. And you know, and I was saying like you still an ER because it reminds me of a song by the old Kanye, where he said, you know, even if you're, I forgot what he said, but it was basically something lavish. Even if you're X, Y, and Z, like pulling up to BET and your coupe and da-da-da-da. He's like, even if all of that, you still in a coupe.
Yeah,
that's what he said. You still an N-word that I use in my vocabulary, but he said you still that in a coupe. Basically, you're gonna still be black. All you guys that thought that you were going to be excluded or included into whatever Donald Trump had plans for. Remember when he promised you this and that and that, and as simple as the lowering the price of eggs. Every day I go to buy some eggs, and I don't even like eggs for real, but I gotta use them for some Haitian meals. And every day I go and get eggs and go look for eggs. Eggs is $10. Eggs went from being, when Donald Trump got into office, I saw eggs around $5, and I thought that was ridiculous. Out of control. Yeah, yes. Diabolical. And then I seen, you know, within this first few weeks, baby, they went up to $7. Yeah. And then I saw $8. And the most that I've seen is $13.
Nah, you ain't seen no $13. Stop lying.
At the local
Why you lying on Elon Musk Twitter like that?
Sprouts, because there ain't no Whole Foods by me.
You know, I've been trying to wonder. I'm like, babe, we don't eat eggs no more. This is what, you know, me not paying all the attention to the prices of eggs. Mm-hmm. You know, and sometimes you know, you see it happening on Twitter, but you don't realize it's happening at your grocery store. So I'm like, I'm seeing everybody complain about the price of eggs. And then a week went by and I realized we ain't got not nary egg in our house. And I looked at my wife, she said, you gonna pay $8 for some eggs?
Okay. Oh, so what y'all been eating in place of eggs?
Oatmeal.
That sounds delicious and healthy, actually.
Oatmeal, that's what we do.
Because I don't know where these eggs coming from lately. I be feeling like
ostrich eggs.
Okay, ostrich eggs, and for countries who eat ostrich eggs, that's fine because you know it's crazy. They out here eating horse, thinking it's steak.
I thought you were about to say horse eggs. I might say Rebecca or stop.
No, ew, horses. Look, they're mammals. So they
no,
look, don't get me crazy. Don't get me getting crazy over here.
Oh my goodness. All right.
There are a couple of things that have happened this week, but I want to start with the first one. And the first one is Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer is the are we down with OPP? Not that OPP, but the ops. Okay. You know, is he the opponent? They've always been to me because I ain't never trust nobody for real. To be true, I ain't never trust nobody for real. But Chuck Schumer is on the chopping block because he decided that he was going to vote right now. For months, we've been hearing about this looming government shutdown.
Comes
and
around
what they'll do every day. Go ahead, Bim.
No, I'm saying it comes around like every 2 months, every 2 years.
Every 2 months. And to the point where people don't even pay attention no more. They don't even mind it. It doesn't make mainstream media. It does not make the top of the hour. It does not. Where it looms so much that they just meet up and they're like, we don't want this. We don't want that. We don't know. We'll keep meeting. Just kidding. Give it 30 more days. 2 more months. It's like, just kidding. Give it 30 more days. And then now they like, you know what? We want more money for our defense. We want more money to put for the military, front lines, guns. And then we want to take away money from some of our social programs. And even though for people that, you know, percent-wise, they're saying that it's a low percentage, you know, that they'll take away from other programs that benefit other parts or Americans in some way, shape, or form. And they're going to take and put more money into their defense programs. I think that is preposterous because America right now, we're not in a great shape, not in a good place. And for Chuck Schumer to side with that, saying that he does not want any more, like he does not want Donald Trump to have any more power than he already has. So to give in, to make sure that we do not get to a place of a government shutdown, he had to cast his vote alongside the Republicans. However, I'm telling you, I've been hearing about government shutdown for months, years, to be honest, every other day. It used to be something that was woo-woo, and then it became something that was like, another day, another government shutdown. I still got to make it to work. I still got to go feed my kids. I still got to, you know, all of that. Anywho, let's listen to what Schumer had to say.
Charles. Republican rejection leads us to a decision. And it's not really a decision, it's a Hobson's choice. Either proceed with the bill before us or risk Donald Trump throwing America into the chaos of a shutdown. This, in my view, is no choice at all. While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. It is not a clean CR. It is deeply partisan. It doesn't address far too many of this country's needs. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option. And before I explain why, let me be clear about one thing. No one on my side of the aisle wants a government shutdown. Members who support this CR do not want a government shutdown. Members who oppose this CR do not want a government shutdown.
There it is. Well, he got his head chopped off because of Democrats. I like what I see right now, Rebecca, and I like the fact that there are more people fighting and they're fighting harder and they have a higher expectation of leadership to stand up and fight against what Donald Trump is doing. And so when Chuck Schumer, you know, he started off the week like he was going to hold the line and then he flipped. It was good to see everybody from every side. I mean, from establishment Democrats to never Trumpers to leftists to socialists to everybody. It was like, Chuck Schumer, you got to go. So that was it's a good sign that there's a fight, right? There's fight left in these people. Some of it I think is kabuki theater. I think some of it is just performance, but at the same time, even if they're performing, like we could listen to a couple other clips, even if some of these folks are performing, their performance is unifying. They're like, people see you fighting, even if you're just pretend fighting, it's going to rally so many other people to step up to the fight and fight back. So I really do love and I don't want to use the word resistance because they watered that down so much during the first term of Donald Trump, but the fight, there's a fight that's happening and it's unifying people, and they're standing up against Republicans in a way that I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised to see this much pushback against Chuck Schumer for voting for it. We don't have you, Becca. That's what it is. Yep. Okay. There you go.
I'm gonna go ahead while you play this clip. I'm gonna go ahead and restart my computer. I'll give me about 5 minutes, Ben. You take it from here. I'll be right back, okay?
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Bill when it comes up. So I want to tell you why I'm voting against the Republican funding bill when it comes up for a vote tomorrow. You deserve to know the stakes here. First of all, you get this. Trump has a plan and he's implementing it to destroy our economy and our government, to create a crisis that allows him to hand our government over to his billionaire friends and to suspend our democracy. I wish that weren't true, but it is. The question then is this: does the funding bill make it easier or harder for Trump to implement that plan? Now, I judge that it makes it easier, and so I can't support it. The basics here are this: Republicans are in charge, right? They need Democratic votes to pass a funding bill, but they never negotiated with Democrats. They didn't even try. They wrote their own partisan bill. They filled it with all sorts of right-wing shit. This isn't a continuing resolution. It doesn't just continue last year's funding, even though the press is reporting it that way. It makes big changes to law, and they're all changes designed to make it easier for Trump to implement that plan to destroy our country. For instance, it makes massive cuts to housing programs, to Social Security, to programs for healthcare for working families. That paves the way for Musk to advance his illegal assault on those government services. It gives Trump brand new spending powers. For instance, the ability to start new military programs that haven't even been authorized by Congress. At this moment of crisis, that sounds like a really dangerous idea. And it takes key guardrails off of presidential spending authority. That allows Trump and Musk to more easily move money from one account to the other. Now listen, Trump and Musk are going to keep acting illegally, no matter what this funding bill says. Whether we stop them, that's going to be up to the courts and up to our ability to mobilize people all over the country against their agenda, which is deeply, deeply unpopular. But by passing a bill that makes their plan easier to implement, Democrats risk putting a kind of bipartisan veneer of endorsement on their campaign to give our government to the billionaires and to destroy the rule of law. And I just won't be a part of that.
That's the part right there, right? So it's so many layers of this in terms of how this is empowering Republicans, particularly Doge, to go further in what they're doing. And so this is a couple of key things that was said in that clip that I think is important. Number one, if you need Democratic votes, negotiate. Chuck Schumer laid down. He didn't even demand that they come to the negotiation table, right? Who's concerned about the appearance of shutting down the government? That should not even be in the consideration. Republicans ran a really quick and really fast, really dirty campaign against Chuck Schumer, and I think that intimidated him and his staff. They started to call it the Schumer shutdown, and that caused them to backpedal. The idea of the government shutting down did present some opportunities for Donald Trump to execute his agenda anyway, especially with the furlough of so many federal employees that would have given Donald Trump the power and the authority to make certain moves that he couldn't make otherwise. So I do get that nuance, and I think it's an important nuance for us to consider, right? But in the bigger scheme of things, what we have just done, or what Chuck Schumer and the 9 other Democrats who voted for it in the Senate, what they've done is that they've empowered Donald Trump to advance his agenda even that much more. So particularly, I'm looking at the way that this continuing resolution is giving Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency increased control over federal spending, right? And it's weakening congressional oversight. So here we are with the number one problem that we have in our country right now, which is Doge having way more authority than they should ever have. It should not exist, but this continuing resolution is what's going to push them even further to do even more damage. And instead of even asking to negotiate, Chuck Schumer threw in the towel. His justification, again, I'm going to recite his justification. His justification is if the government shuts down, then this gives Elon Musk and Donald Trump the opportunity to move their agenda forward uninhibited in some dangerous ways. okay, we can understand that nuance. So negotiate instead of simply laying down. That's the part. The fact is that we're in this situation right now because Democrats never hold the line when they need to on any issue, from the filibuster to the parliamentarian. Remember, they blamed the parliamentarian in the Biden administration for why they couldn't get things done. And so this is just a continuation of the same thing. And it never ceases to amaze me that there's always a group of Democrats like John Fetterman, right? Who honestly makes it's almost like controlled opposition, Rebecca. There's always going to be some Democrats who are going to be there to support the Republican agenda because ultimately they're a part of the Republican agenda. Ultimately, the government continues to move further and further to the right, damaging the lives of the average American, giving more power to the elite, more power to billionaires, and there's always going to be some Democrats there that's co-signing. Your computer started again so fast, I figured you'd be gone for 10 minutes.
Oh no, baby. The way I had to get it out and get it in, it's a lot. But I do this so many times that I'm a pro at it now. So me and my computer, we go together real bad.
I got a thing.
we got a thing.
We say y'all go together real bad.
We go together real bad. So but anyway, I missed what you were saying, but I did catch the end of it, and you are very right. You know, before I had to restart my computer, you were saying that some people were coming off performative. What's so interesting is that what I'm seeing is a lot of people who we judged just 2-3 weeks ago and didn't even judge harshly, just called out the performativeness there or their lack of push, you know, or things like that. They're now piling on to Chuck Schumer in this moment to take heat off of them. And I'm like, baby, I remember you. I remember you at the State of the Union. Mm-hmm. And I remember you literally giving same vibes, right? And Sunny Holston at The View, she said, and I can't remember it verbatim, she said something along the lines of Democrats basically, Democrats need to stop playing by the old, like playing by the book, playing by the old rules, because Republicans they've ripped apart that rule book. So there's no rules for them. They're playing by their own rules. And Democrats are still playing by a rule book that no longer exists. It no longer exists. So they need to stop playing by the rules. That's what she means. Y'all need, because that rule book no longer exists. Not in 2025. All of those things and all of those ways to carry yourself have gone out the window. Y'all be on TikTok more than the kids. Y'all argue. The girls stay fighting in the White House. Baby, we don't need to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, Married Medicine, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Utah, Real Housewives of all the others. We don't need to do any of that. We don't need to watch any reality TV that is scripted, because what we're watching every day in the White House is reality TV. How they play things, how they do things. Republicans do not care about a rule book anymore. They're going by Project 2025.
That part.
And Democrats are still trying to be like, on page 13 of, the same rule book that says slavery is still a thing in some American states. That rape can be a thing in some American states. Rip it up. Destroy it. Start fresh. Get some real leadership going on, y'all scary Marys. And y'all the ones that are the same when it comes to not wanting to remove people from seats. And y'all stay there, no leadership, no nothing. Y'all need to shake things up. I really can't really just sit there and just point the finger at the Repubs. We know they ain't nothing. But I don't like performativeness. Y'all mad today, but you're not going to be mad tomorrow. It's not enough. It's not enough. Kendrick Lamar voice. What we got over here? What is Beanhead talking about?
Oh, who knows? Oh goodness, what clip is this, David? Run this clip. Let's see what this clown talking about here. Okay, we're still talking the continuing resolution. Here we go.
Oh, baby, we turn the music down. It's gonna be a hit. Okay.
Pending government shutdown Friday midnight. Yeah. Democrats for 30 years straight have said if there's a shutdown, bad things happen. Do you anticipate direct negotiations yourself with conference leader of the Democrats, Chuck Schumer?
If they need me, I'm there 100%. It's right now it's 2 or 3 people. If it shuts down, it's not the Republicans' fault. You know, we passed a bill where we had an incredible Republican vote. We only had one negative vote, a grandstander, one grandstander. There's always a grandstander in the lot. But it was amazing. People were amazed that the Republicans were able to vote in unison like that, so strongly. If there's a shutdown, even the Democrats admit it'll be their fault. And I'm hearing a lot of Democrats are going to vote for it, and I hope they do. This is an extension. But ultimately, we want to vote for one big, beautiful bill where we put the taxes in, we put everything in. We're going to have big tax cuts. We're going to have tremendous incentives for companies coming into our country and employing lots of people. It'll be, I called it, in a rare moment, one big, beautiful bill. That's what I like. And it seems to be that's where they're heading. It provides for everything. It's a big, beautiful bill, and I hope we can get it approved, and that'll be next. But
big, beautiful bill.
It's a BBL. I'm just kidding. It's a BBB.
He don't know nothing about it.
And we're not talking Better Business Bureau. He's saying big, beautiful bill because he doesn't know anything about it. You are so right. Just like because we're going to get into the education part because that was just a few days ago too. Just like the Treasury, I think the new president of the education department.
Vince McMahon's wife. Yeah.
And wow, aging. When you are nasty and aging, she looks ancient. And I hate to say that, but like, this is Vince McMahon, and he ain't nothing. All them Republican wrestlers and all the other stuff is terrible. They vent. Hulk Hogan look like he's fried. He is how my sister says, he is a fry away from a Happy Meal. Whatever that means.
A fry short of a Happy Meal.
Yes, I don't know what that means, but she says that. Now, as you were pointing out, David, there are the bill is 14. The budget is 14 separate bills.
So when he says one big beautiful bill, he doesn't know what he's talking about, right?
He doesn't.
And when he's saying it's a continuation, it's not a continuation, right? It's not a continuation, right? It's an addendum. They're adding to it. They're adding more complexity to what they can do and get away with, right? And so one thing that we have to adjust for, Rebecca, in this is, and I think people really need to get really accustomed to viewing it this way. Everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Everything that comes out of MAGA's mouth is either a distortion or an outright lie. And there's no other way to put it. So but the thing is that they have such a strong base of people who want the lie and who repeat the lie and they circulate the lie. And so it doesn't really matter that Donald Trump is lying here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all. All that matters is the fact that they can.
It's a big, beautiful bill.
That they can get away with the lie. Yeah.
Yeah. And here are some of so basically the defense spending increase. I want people to be clear about that. So the bill raises the defense spending by approximately $6 billion compared to previous levels. And the specific allocations, the increase funding for military personnel, pay raises, warship construction, and other defense equipment enhancements. So then there's the social programs. Some of them will be local transportation safety projects, right? So grandma, when she wants to hop on her little bus, let me stop. Because my grandmother, God rest her soul, that was her favorite thing to do on the weekends. Hop on the bus. That's when it was 25 cents. Palm Tran. But those fundings are going to be reduced to $2 billion, and that's going to impact infrastructure and improvements for public safety measures. Now, I know that's going to affect Washington, D.C.'s budget itself, the city's budget. They're going to face a $1 billion cut, and that's going to affect, they say, public service operations within that district, because we know that's where the White House is and stuff. But that is how Donald Trump is pulling I don't even think he's, and I could be saying this American phase very incorrectly, but pulling the wool over your eyes.
Yeah, that's how we say it.
Okay. So basically, I feel like people gonna walk around and they want to be Stevie Wonder to this stuff.
Yes.
Because they do not want to face themselves and the decisions that they've made because of racism, because of whiteness, because of them wanting to be othered, superior, that type of thing. They want to function in a white nationalist, a Hitler, a dictatorship, something that makes everything look the way that they thought they looked. But in reality, you never looked this way. You're not the chosen person. You are not the one that Donald Trump has chosen to be in that number, my brother and sisters. And now these programs, these cuts, these things are going to help for things like, what's going to happen? Should we be worried that y'all still trying to pour more money after pouring money already into military defense and warships and all of this, and then take it away from basic needs of your American people?
I mean, that's standard. That's par for the course, though, right? That's what America does, which makes me feel that this is why you got 10 Democrats to sign off on it, right? Because they actually approve of what's being done, not because they are fearful of the government shutting down and, ooh, that will be bad. Because every shutdown that we've had historically, I'm trying to think of one that was caused by Democrats. I can't. Everyone I think of in times past has literally been caused by Republicans, right? And so my fear, not even my fear, but my hunch is that everything that you listed out, right? The defense contracting spending, right? That's the Democratic Party's bread and butter as well. And so you have a faction of the Democrats who are still playing by the same rules as if it was 2020 or 2016 or 2010. Right? Or 2012, rather. They're playing by the same set of rules, thinking that they can still just grease up the wallets and the hands of defense contractors when we're dealing with an administration that's not only going to destroy he's already destroying the American foreign policy. He's destroying NATO, but it's gone so far as to, I forget which nation, but there's nations who are canceling their contracts with our defense industry.
Yeah.
Right, they're canceling the orders of F-16 fighter jets because of Donald Trump. And so how is it if Democrats are trying to just play their regular, let's get these 10 Democrats, right? There's 10 Democrats. If they're trying to play, let's just continue to grease up the defense industry, you're still playing by the wrong set of rules because Donald Trump is destroying the United States defense industry as we speak. So what is it that these Democrats are aligning with, these 10 Democrats? What are they really trying to do here? Are they trying to show us that they are in bed with Republicans? Okay, no, we believe you.
Bipartisanship needs to stop, because those little 10 Democrats or whatnot, they're not real Democrats. And then Democrats ain't even together enough for us to see what the order, what is the basic line for Democrats at this time. They all over the place. They're not together. It's such a messy situation to watch. You're getting not even your constituents telling you what they need. They're telling you guys how to move, like literally, because you guys have no clue. Everything is about self. Everything is literally as long as you guys have security in your personal lives. But you were placed in position to fight for the people, not sit up here and make cutesy videos or pictures and photo op moments. Let the Republicans do that, because you know why? They literally have the power right now. You got to call a thing a thing. So how are you going to take it back? You need to fight. You need to create structure. You need to do all those things. I'm not surprised at this bipartisan relationship talk. I'm not surprised by that, because they always go there. They always go there when they start acting very side-eye-ish. When they start acting very, suspicious. They start to say bipartisanship. Anytime I've heard a president who was supposed to be somebody who was Democratic or had made a promise before, when they broke that promise because they had to side with Republicans, they would push that all week long before they broke the news that they were doing something real opposition like. It was bipartisanship. I've heard our beloved black presidents use it when he dropped something that we ain't care too much about. I've heard Joe Biden use it so many different times when they did things that we didn't care about. I even heard Kamala Harris, who was our first black South Asian vice president, utilize that term when, we didn't like things. But we got to be real. We're going to need leadership. We're going to need people in place who don't lean towards that, because the other side never says bipartisanship. They're going to say red. They're going to say KKK. They're going to say white lives stay mattering. They're going to say calling on African angels because they believe African angels look like Elon Musk. They're going to continue to stand firm on what they believe in white Jesus with the straight hair and the blue eyes. They are going to stand on that. That is the American way, right? No matter what. I know we like to say it's a melting pot, but even when it was been a melting pot, these policies, these things that are in place are what America has been about since its inception. It's taking from people, stamping their own on it, and saying it belongs to them. So the fight has to be deeper and stronger than what they're giving right now. Performativeness and words in your damn threads, on your Twitter, on your X, on whatever platform you have ain't cutting it. Y'all are put there to fight, and y'all every day you are going to be the people, as my sister says, because she's in the ministry, she says ministry doesn't sleep. Y'all are the people that should not be getting sleep so that your constituents will one day get some damn good rest. Because I'm tired.
That part. So somebody wanted to know who are these 10 Democrats, these additional 10 Democrats. I'm gonna put an image so you can pull it up, David. But these are the folks, because we are we can't. So we had 10, and I want to contextualize it for what happened last week as well. We had 10 Democrats who voted to censure Al Green.
And
that was in the House, right? In the House of Representatives. And then we had 10 who just voted to continue with the voted for the continuing resolution. They voted for closure. These people need to be
like white too. Look, are they like whites? Because the ones that did Al Green were white adjacent, white and white. Oh, white. No, that's white. That's HWHITE, white. Okay. And I say that to say these are the ones we're gonna see. You look at them. The second one, what's his name? He's always been very opposition at like.
Your boy, if you hadn't asked me, I could have said it. I know I can't because I can't stand that.
I know his name is up here. Wait, go ahead.
Goodness,
Fetterman.
John Fetterman.
Fetterman. My goodness, John Fetterman.
Actually,
he's the guy who was a mayor at the time, and he pulled a shotgun on a Black Lives Matter. Actually, I don't even know if they were protesting. I think he just put on a black man jogging. He pulled a shotgun, and because John Fetterman talked a good progressive game. And see, there's one thing my white progressive friends, and you gotta look beyond people who talk a good progressive game and look at what they're saying in terms of race and what they do in terms of race, because that's going to be your key indicator. This is a man who pulled a shotgun on a black man who he was afraid of, ended up getting in trouble for it. But he came in saying all the right progressive things. At first, he was all for healthcare. At first, he was all, all these things. And then now he's turned out to be the number one. He's Joe Manchin. He's Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema all wrapped into a hoodie and some short pants.
Yes. And this is where it's very problematic. I'm like, the people that we see up there have already showed us who they were. And they still cleared the room and provided these people seats to represent constituents that they look at every single day and say, not you, not you, not you, not you, but that one. the same ideologies that Republicans hold are the one I'm telling you, you sit at the dinner table with these people and they claim that they're so left or progressive or centric or whatever the hell is all the names on the Democratic side. I just need somebody that's really going to be about the people, because at this point, the right is about a certain type of people. Okay. And the left has no idea who they're for. They don't even know who they're standing next to, what that person's ideologies are. Yet they're working alongside these people every day. And when it's time to show up as one, they can't do it because people like Fetterman has been, y'all really let that happen, huh? Y'all not calling out them people and then forming the subgroup where the people can really do the work. Y'all just standing right there pointing fingers at whoever's inside and just stop it. This is not a reality show. We got work to do. We got work to do. And AOC has called these people out time and time again. I know you had put up one of her quotes.
Yeah, all 10 of them should be focused on. So I'll bring that back up in a second. But it's worth noting what he said, because he basically said there's never he basically gave up all the cards for like by default he never cares. He said he will never ever vote to shut down the government, no matter what it is, no matter the context. And so yeah, AOC made a point and said, what if they attach a national abortion ban? Are you going to vote to ban abortion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trash. John Fetterman is trash. He is as much trash as his wardrobe. He is as much. Oh no, Lord, forgive me. I was getting ready to mess with him about his stroke. I'm not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. But I'm glad you mentioned it.
Bring me back in.
Somebody in the comments can do it.
Yes.
But see something. No, I gotta thank you for bringing this photo back up, because, and I want to say their name correctly. Lyrie's Fable said, "I'm not." No, that's not it. Hold on, let me go. Because Lyrie's Fable said, "Phew, got to squint to look at that brightness."
All that reflection. The light is so bright.
Donald Trump said, right when he saw the black people, yeah, I could see the whites in their eyes or something of the sort. Can't even see the whites in these people's eyes because they're dead inside.
Look. Here's the worst part about it. And there's a poll. I think it was a 60 or 70% of Democrats supported the Democrats opposing this. Okay, so the majority of these people's immediate constituents, when I say immediate constituents, I mean the people who are going to vote for them in the next elections, supported them opposing the continuing resolution. So these 10 people voted against their own base. They voted against their own best interests in terms of politically. So you have to ask yourself, like, why are they doing this? It can't be out of so much concern about the functioning of the government, because we go through this song and dance every year. And if they were really concerned about it, like someone said in the comment section, there's a loophole that they can close that will prevent us from having this fight every year. But sometimes it feels like it's more than once a year, to be honest with you. It feels like it's every 6 months we go through this same exact thing. But here we are dealing with these 10. And if we got another image, I'll pull up the 10. But these 10 plus the 10 who voted to censure Al Green, they have to be stopped. They have to be opposed. They have to be humiliated. They have to be deposed.
Please, because if we're going to do anything while y'all over here dressing up and wearing your pink, be outside and hold up signs about the people that are opposition in your group. And then y'all, like I said, a lot of us, and I can't say us, in a group of people, we might come and there's bad, like rotten apples in it. In order to save the group, people may still be considered apples, right? But you can remove yourself to save you and everybody else. Identify who they are, put them out there, let them rot. But y'all got to remove yourselves and continue to build the work, right? That's what it is. I don't see much of that happening. Again, these are going to be the people that are putting rhetoric online and words online, like we just saw with Fetterman. They're going to say that this is like, we're following the rules. America doesn't need any kind of shutdown. I'm not going to take away the food and things for families, but it's already being done, beloved.
That's right.
So,
and they're empowering it more. Mm-hmm. This is like saying this is like saying the Republicans are already doing bad things, so we're not going to vote to slow them down, because if we slow them down, they can do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
What sense does that make? That makes no logical sense. This is literally what Chuck Schumer was arguing. He's saying that Republicans are doing bad things to America, but if we vote to slow them down from doing bad things to America, they're going to be able to do bad things to America. Like you said, Rebecca, they're already doing it. So it's a scam. And they think, I think Democrats think we're as dumb as MAGA.
What's up with the number 10? Like, you know, y'all, it's got to be 10 of y'all each time. It's giving. Y'all already knew about this. It's going to be 10 that do this. It's going to be 10 that do this. It's going to be, you guys are going to be responsible for this. It's given that. But here are the whites and like whites and white adjacent and white thinking people who did this. And no offense, and I always got to say this to my white folks who are allies, love you, mean it. But we know the structure, when we say white, especially in America, there's a colonizer mindset. There's a superiority mindset. There is a always us and never them mindset. So these are the people that are that. I didn't see Marcy. Was she? I feel like she was in the first group too that voted.
Yeah, no, Rebecca, you about to say they look like? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Look, Marcy looks like bottom row, number 4.
Rebecca, don't say that. Go, come on. Put back the 10 that voted against. These are the 10 that voted against, voted to censure Al Green in the House.
Yes.
Particularly, I'm looking at Jared Moskowitz of Florida, because he always has viral videos that go around of him giving Republicans hell. And this week, he had another viral video that went around, and all of our friends over there love you guys over there at Midas Touch, and all you guys do a great job, all that. But stop sharing shit from this guy. Excuse me, Lord forgive me. I got to preach tomorrow.
It's all right. You got to preach tomorrow, Ben.
Don't share another thing from Jared Moskowitz, however you pronounce it, because he voted to censure the one man in the House of Representatives that stood up to fascism. This guy, all these people are dead. They're dead to us. They're dead to the movement. They don't mean us any good. There's nothing that these 10 people on this screenshot or on this screenshot, none of these 20 Democrats have no standing in the party, and anyone who helps them, we're going to have to come against you too. Because if we don't hold the line right now, they are going to give the United States to Donald Trump without any opposition.
Parker in the chat pointed out this as well, because there were Democrats that did vote for this, and but a few of these people who are part of the 10s, right? The 2 10s, Angus King, Jean Shaheen, and Maggie Hassan all voted against the $15 minimum wage in 2021. Remember that as well? That was a fight, and we were so upset at the folks like what's her name? You mentioned Cinema and them who had pushed back and remember the performativeness when they voted no, and it's like, who? So you really on that side, Miss Cinema? Are you really?
She came in and did a little curtsy with her little pink outfit. It came in and did a curtsy,
and it was like, let's be for real. I know your last name is Cinema, but you're not giving us really much of a movie, sis. It's straight Tubi, and that's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that these are the people that are representing us in a time where the revolution does have to be televised, but not in the way they're trying to do it. Like, it's really ridiculous. And thank you for bringing that up, Parker, because these people have been a part of many problems. And I'm not going to say that because there are some of the Black ones too that we love very much that had to sign things that are unreasonable. But having right now, I sound like this is 2016 and I don't want to sound repetitive. At this moment, though, y'all not doing enough. And y'all sitting here and acting like these old tactics are going to even puncture any drywall, any concrete, anything. Please hang it up at this point. Call the people out in your group that are the sores. Like, please do. And find new ways to handle business. Because while y'all fighting, while the girls is fighting, okay? The Republicans already did six new things in the span of 5 minutes. Then y'all just like, I need more grit. And it's really embarrassing to see because I'm like, this is what you guys give. Y'all always show up and embarrass us every time y'all come out. Every time something happens, y'all embarrass us. Y'all embarrass us each time. You don't handle things well. I know people don't like when I come for the Democrats. They don't like it. I know they don't like when I speak against, their favorite leaders or whatever. But the reason I'm doing this is because I've realized that we are being conditioned by the right naturally. Again, I've seen this where they talked about, and I sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I probably said this last week too, but I've seen this where they talked about how they wear us down so bad where we feel like, but we can't say that about them. We got to speak well about the Democrats. And we can't, if we do that, we're going to be promoting, division. And it's already being promoted. We've tried to do it the Democratic way. We've tried to do it the soft way and the bipartisan way. And every time we got kicked to the curb. And the few Black people that we had in leadership, they took away from us. And now we down to the few, right? Our strongest leaders, they're gone. We watched them disappear in the last election, right? Some of our strongest leaders. And were replaced by white people. That's probably going to be a part of another number 10 group of ops. So be mindful about what we're doing and how we're saying it. Because on this channel, when y'all watch it every Saturday and occasionally during the week, I'm going to be calling out everybody. I don't care who they are. You already know Republicans ain't it. But we got to start calling out the Democrats who aren't it so we can focus on the ones who are actually doing the work.
That part. Because
they go ahead, Ben.
No, go ahead.
And I'm going to say this last bit because they get away with so much because we have we've been conditioned to take bottom barrel.
Yes.
Yes. And bottom barrel effort is enough for us to say, oh, they wore that pink. They wore that pink. They held up that sign. Oh, they got on TikTok and did that little dance. They were sitting on CNN and they said F you. We need more.
We need more and we need more fight. We need people who we need people who are not financed by AIPAC, because there's a strong correlation between those who voted to censure Al Green and those who voted for the continuing resolution and how much money they got from AIPAC. Now, it's a correlation. I'm not saying it's causal, but it's correlated. We need those who are going to not care about respectability politics. Now, this is a reason I still like Jasmine Crockett, because I do like the fact that she get rowdy with them. I do like the fact that she will get into her AAVE, her African American vernacular English, and read these people for filth. I like that for a lot of reasons. One, it just feels good to hear our native tongue. It just feels good to hear us talk to them the way we know how to talk to them. But then two, it's also a deeply appealing thing for a younger generation, not to like tokenize it or not to minimize it, but her whole brand, her whole style. Like I peeped out some of her TikTok videos. I'm like, oh, she gonna appeal to some 25-year-old, 20-year-old.
It's us. It's the 30-year-olds, because even though we trying to be teachers and all the lawyers and stuff.
No, you talking about old folks. I'm talking about, because but that's important, right? It's important that you communicate in a way that gets the attention of all voters, not just the geriatric voters. No offense to, we all getting old, and I pray I can get to be 80, 90 years old, right?
And you will.
But we trying to, we in a fight, because if you saw that video of Sam Cedar over on Jubilee when he was he was surrounded by 20 conservatives, you will see that what MAGA has done so dangerous is that they've reached and captured a whole new generation of young folks. And what we're dealing with is not only a Democratic Party who don't want to fight. We're dealing with a Democratic Party who don't know how to communicate, not even to middle-aged people. They don't even talk in a way that communicates and resonates with my old behind. But they certainly are losing a future generation. So we need Democrats if it's even going to be that party, we need folks who not only going to fight, who going to understand that they cannot take money from AIPAC because you lose your soul, but who also know how to communicate on a level that makes people want to see you fight. When I hear Jasmine Crockett talk, I want to fight. I want to jump in and do something about what's going on. And we got the wrong leaders in power.
Absolutely. And I feel like Jasmine Crockett is great, but it's not only her. Somebody just mentioned Maxwell Frost. Love Maxwell Frost too. Other people as well. Some, I love all of the things, but I just want to see the hands getting dirty. You see what I'm saying? I just want to see more in the community. And I know people are like, no, we don't have to see it. Actually, we do, because we have people like them 10 that been sitting down doing nothing, that been taking the fruits that other people have been growing on their tree, right? When it's time for these fruits to start falling, they eating too. And it's not for these 10 and 10 and another 10 that's going to come out and another 10 to be eaten from, because they're actually opposition. So yes, I need to see the work. I need to see y'all out in communities. I need to see y'all. If y'all want to go by the old playbook, then I'm trying to see all of that. Go ahead and get into your communities, see what's really necessary. Start showing what is changing, what you're doing, because I really can't. While y'all over here doing all of this, the reason why the right can do TikTok videos and all that, because their support group is so real. Their support group over there, they don't even like each other. They'll be fighting, but when it's time to show up, they show up as an army. They show up as an army together. Democrats, they mad at somebody, they'll sit there and be looking crazy. And it's like, hey, we don't have time to fight each other right now. We need to be fighting them so that we can save the people. So let me just bring it back down to there. It's the people. It's the people that matter. The more y'all sitting here and worrying about all that you're worrying about, you're missing out on protecting your people. And that's what I want to see more of.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it is showing me something different though, and in a positive way. The two things I need y'all to hear 2 points at one time. There's a lot of unity and solidarity that's happening on our side of the aisle right now, right? Because of these 10 Democrats, because of those 10 Democrats last week, because of what Donald Trump is doing. Right. There's a lot of people who are like, okay, we don't agree on a whole lot, but we agree that we got to fight and stop this. The problem is memory, Rebecca, and you talk about this all the time. People start to forget. And if we start to forget these 20 Democrats, then they are going to remain unscathed. They're going to remain in power. They're going to remain influential. And they're going to be able to do the same thing to us again when the next vote counts. Mm-hmm. And so when we see people actively online, and I'm calling out Midas Touch again, I'm calling them out specifically. And I'm trying to think of the bald head, Ron Filipkowski. I can't remember his last name.
I just found out about that group of people, but go ahead.
When we see you all, because of prior standing relationships with some of these people, Ron Moskowitz, when we start seeing you all promote them in a positive light, then we got to start calling out your platform. We have to start calling out you by name, because we cannot allow you all to not launder, to recycle, to rehabilitate, to rehabilitate these people who have demonstrated to us in this moment that they are traitors. They are traitors to your party, because I don't even consider myself a Democrat. They're traitors to the Democratic Party. They're traitors to democracy. They're traitors to Black people for what they did to Al Green. So anybody who is going to help us to forget these Democrats did this, y'all as much of a problem as anybody else.
And the ones that's telling us not to remember, this is not the time. I said we have to function in remembrance for us to move on. I'm not saying function in remembrance and stay there. No, as we move forward, we have to remember why we're moving forward, because the way that we were trying to work it out and the way we let people slip through the cracks and the way we were fighting each other and not doing what we need to do was not working. And this is why we are moving forward, or we're moving in a different direction. This is why, because every time we look to the right got their stuff together, even though it's chaos. It's in order for them. Everybody knows when you say Donald Trump in the city that I live in, they stand at attention. You hear me? Even if they do not agree with their policies or politics, the one thing that brings them together is that hate, that white is right, that, prejudice and all those other things that go under the umbrella of Donald Trump and his hatefulness. It's like we gotta do better. And like you said, Ben, we don't call it out. We're going to keep on randomly seeing groups of 10. 10 We're going to randomly be seeing that. And there is no reason why it shocks us that they're mostly white each time. Not only because our leaders are mostly white. That's one. So when we have people like Al Green, but not that Al Green, Congressman Al Green, who graduated from the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee at Florida A&M University, Congressman Al Green, when we have him being censured by people who don't look like him.
When he did the hard thing of standing up to the man that y'all don't want to stand up to, y'all scared.
Come on, photo, be ready. Yeah,
you know I got that thing. I'm gonna keep that ready for the rest of the year.
Keep it on the side.
It's gonna always stay Johnny on the spot, because I need people to always remember when this black man stood up to stand up against the white man that white voters got back into power. It was 10 white Democrats who said we want to censure him.
Every day, and he waved it upon, and I feel like he hit some of them Democrats on the head too. He waved it upon the room. Okay, and like I said, and we got 4 years. We got 3.75, but we got 4 years of this left. And so just know we will always remember this. So Ben, keep that picture up, because we probably gonna put it up every Saturday for folks to stand in remembrance about why these Democrats need to move in a different direction. And the person who was willing to start it, to ignite some kind of flame, to give us a smoke signal, was Congressman Al Green. And with that being said, there's again, the people are fighting. But our great producer David reminded me of 2 stories. I'm actually have a standalone video that I'm going to be covering with Donald Trump thinking about, in which this news was given to me before it even made mainstream media, before it made media at all. Someone gave me a tip about this being a thing. And I said, I can't find any information about it on the internet, so I can't even put together a video, but this sounds true. And I put together a video beforehand, and guess what happened on that day when they said that this was going to drop? So somebody knows what's going on somewhere about Donald Trump's ideas and things that he says is policy, but it really isn't. It is propaganda. But he's planning on doing a remix of his Muslim ban from 2017 and potentially adding countries like, of course, my motherland, my mother's and father's land, Haiti and Cuba. And I have a standalone video where I'm talking about this, because remember the Muslim ban in 2017? And some of y'all, again, we have to go back in remembrance. You know why? Because things like this happen, and we so quickly forget that Muslim ban was for mostly Middle Eastern countries where they just assume people are Muslim. So they named it the Muslim ban because we knew that's what it was. And he basically put that ban in place, saying that the people that come from those countries are a threat to Americans' lives. And here's my problem. None of that was substantiated. None of that was ever found to be true. But we know that in 9/11, what happened was, because Ben, There are so many videos that our former people had deleted, but we covered it so much where I discussed it. And I talked about how the Muslim ban was something that they created because during 9/11, all of this, they made it seem like everyone who looked Middle Eastern was what? Part of a terrorist organization.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a thing. People didn't want to get on planes with people who looked Middle Eastern. Every time people who were Middle Eastern were going into airports, they were being pulled to the side because of what they looked like, immediately how they dressed, or this prejudice against them, these stereotypes that were placed against them. That's what made the Muslim ban. The fear that white people had of brown people. And that's what the Muslim ban, that's why the Muslim ban became a thing. On top of that, now we're here. And I'm going to talk about this more in my video, and I can't wait for you guys to watch it. It drops on tomorrow about this very subject. So I won't be before you long about it because I can go on and on, but I want y'all to watch my video. But the Haitians and the Cubans. We have been seeing, I actually mentioned this at our, when we worked at the Like It or Not one point, the original. I talked about this as well. Haitians were being attacked where Donald Trump tried to come back out with the idea of the AIDS conversation for Haitians. Not only that it was a shithole country, he tried to come back out with the AIDS conversation in order for us not to come, for reasons why we shouldn't have came here. And this was before our president was murdered and things of that sort, or assassinated. This man has been already gearing up. And then this year, well, not this year per se, they started last fall with him and JD Vance with the rumors about Haitians eating cats and dogs and never cleared up any kind of thing that the woman found her cat in the basement. But they stirred up these rumors about Haitian immigrants in particular so that they can attack another group of people. The most hated group of immigrants is going to be the black one, the black and the brown, but black is the one on the bottom. And the blackest group of immigrants being attacked right now, being made the face of the bad immigrant, and might I say, the undesirable, because that's what I call them in my video, the undesirable immigrant. That's the poor, that's the black, that's the brown, that's my camera. That is literally what he's doing, the undesirable immigrant, and making it so that we know it's racist, but making it seem that they are the ones, they are so dangerous, they can't come to our country. But I promise you, there's going to be so many people who are going to pack it up and find their way into Haiti for some reason and probably try to steal a land, try to do whatever, because it's being done right now. It's not being discussed on mainstream media, but this is what's happening. They get to go there, but we can't come here. They get to invade other countries for vacation, for whatever, for business, for this, for that. But we can't come here for anything. And here's the point that I'm going to end with. America can't function without immigrants. They need immigrants. This country needs immigrants. Immigrants actually built this land. And I'm talking about the ones that were forced here. Black immigrants, Black Americans who they want to other every other day, were immigrants. Well, enslaved folks that were forced here and had to build a life here. The same way Haitians who were at the boat stop in Haiti, we did the same damn thing. And none of those countries would be thriving without us. I'm telling you right now, colonizers couldn't do it, so they had to come and pick us up. Sorry, I didn't get to my camera because I'm still running my mouth, but they couldn't do it.
I keep trying to interrupt so I can give you a chance to go do your camera.
Okay, go ahead.
Because while you fix your camera, here's the irony of that, Rebecca. While they are attacking the Black immigrants and the brown immigrants, and you're right, Black immigrants are at the bottom of the barrel, Donald Trump is opening up a lane for white South Africans, specifically white South Africans, to come and immigrate to the United States of America. Now, this is not a revelation. Everybody knows that we're dealing with the global white supremacist movement, right? But this lets you know that it has zero to do about immigration, because a lot of those white South Afrikaners are poor, right? They're impoverished. It's not like they're coming over here with great wealth. All the rich ones already left South Africa. They're already here. Peter Thiel, David Sachs, and Elon Musk. right? So as they are opening up the door for poor white South Africans who are going to be a drain on the United States of America, they're closing the door on all the black and brown immigrants. So just so people can see very clearly that this is a white supremacist operation, just like black South Africans have called out. So go ahead, Rebecca, you're back.
No, and that's exactly it. So I'll end with that. And please, check out my video that's dropping on tomorrow. Well, I'll be discussing more of this. But the reason why this isn't even making mainstream media news, it's just literally something that would trickled on to the news cycle or trickled onto your timeline. But what's interesting is if I heard this before it happened and I knew what day this news was projected to drop, and it did drop on that day, that means that this is not just an idea that Donald Trump has in his head. This is going to be something that becomes a thing. It's going to be the upgraded version of the travel ban. And it's full of every hateful thing against brown and black people. And of course, poor people or people who are seeking asylum. It's going to be made to criminalize them. That is the word that you guys need to understand that Donald Trump will be throwing around. Criminals. We see the growth of Guantanamo Bay. Where do you think these people are going to go? It's to criminalize them and to keep making them. It's a part of the show that they're giving us. If we criminalize these immigrants enough, when this ban comes into place, it will tie together. These people are criminals. They're thugs. They're dangerous. They're this and they're that. And we'll see more of these things happening. And just know that Haiti isn't going through anything that a lot of other countries that have been attacked by America in some way aren't going through. A lot of the colonizers, and of course, as many people said in the chat, our audacity to say hell no to the colonizer and to be the first black country to do it. So we've been paying for that for our whole entire lives. But let's not forget that in 1980s, one of the prominent lands and the most safest places to be, the places to vacation, was Haiti. That was just in the 1980s. And then beady head Clintons and went over there and got married and did their thing. And the rest is history. Now, let's move on because I know how when I talk about the Clintons, the way the hairs on my mustache get crazy. All right. It starts to become a thing. Okay. Now, the McBride situation. Ben, did you hear about that?
McBride. The pastor?
No, I believe the Congresswoman McBride. They were. Go ahead and explain it for us, David. I seen the video. I don't even know who they were.
I love
she was misgendered. She was misgendered, and her. Let's play the video, and we'll get.
And listen very closely to what she said. Listen to how she immediately responded to the chairperson. I
love it.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America, please?
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Did not want to correct. Did not want to say Miss McBride. So adjourned the whole meeting. Come on. And this is the disrespect that Republicans will focus on. They focus so much on gender war and culture war and all this other stuff. You see, and it's successful for them. He can throw this tantrum and be disrespectful walk out, adjourn the meeting, and still live to see another day and see Representative McBride and say it again. And nobody's going to do anything about it. They could put that effort and everything into helping American people, but they won't. They like to go ahead and disrespect, fearmonger, and spew out hateful things to people that are like, I don't know who's speaking right now, but the person that was sticking up for them, and I'm sorry, I don't know their name, but I do know that more of that needs to happen as well. Yeah. I like, these are the people that I don't even know a buddy name, but I bet you I'll know it after this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these are the moments where people need to stick up. And if we're going to continue this meeting, correctly address this representative who is a representative just like you, correctly address Miss McBride.
But I also love the energy of misgendering MAGA every time. Every time they do this,
it's hilarious.
Nancy Mace, we're going to refer to you as sir. Right? Every time you do it, every time MAGA does something, you a man, we're going to refer to you as Madam Chair. I love what Sister McBride did. I love what she did right there. Also, here's the other thing. There's literally no reason for us to side with that hatred. None. I'm thinking of you, Cenk Uygur, and a Kasparian, who've made their entire justification for opposing transgender rights based on some ridiculous edge case that nobody even knows the details of. It's just an excuse. It's just an excuse to pivot towards the right and to grift from the right. But just logically, morally, ethically, and just by the sheer virtue of the numbers, there's no reason. And just even human decency. Look, if a grown person makes this decision for their life and they embrace it and they want to be addressed as that takes nothing from us to acknowledge them as such. Nothing. Literally no skin off of our back. Nothing. They're talking about, the next thing is like, well, what about trans women in sports? What, 19 of them? There's 19 across the country. Across the country. You mean to tell me we're going to make the entirety of our political fight right now over 19 individuals who are engaged? Not forget about the nuances of the debate and the nuances of the fight, right? Because you know what I mean? If you're talking about sports, you talk about hormone replacement theory, hormone replacement, right? There's all kind of factors that the NCAA needs to take into consideration. You can get into nuances of it. I'm talking about the sheer numbers, sheer volume, 19 people. We're going to crash the entirety of the American democratic experiment because you hate 19 people that much, because you want to alienate and because all MAGA know, and it's a good bet. They've made a really good bet. Here's the bet that MAGA has made. MAGA's made the bet that there are enough people who are fearful of the trans community or just outright bigoted towards them, that they can run this gag over and over and over and over again and get unlimited mileage out of it, because you're going to always have some people who are going to be like, oh my goodness, a transgender human being, what are we going to do? Oh no, clutch my pearls. Oh no, it's the end of the world. Meanwhile, they're literally spreading measles across Texas. Meanwhile,
wait a minute. Sorry.
Come on.
No, I'm so sorry, Ben. It's what I'm reading, what our producer is putting up on the screen. So you're talking about the man who disrespected Miss McBride, Representative McBride, is Keith Self, and he has been on a tour going around, and a lot of the people, of course, the Republican people, MAGA, a lot of them have been still misgendering Miss McBride and saying that this is like a biblical thing. So let's go ahead and just listen to this interview. And I'm sorry to cut you off, Ben. But
no, that's good spot as any.
Because I actually want to hear what this white thumb has to say.
Don't
Let's
like
take a listen.
Why does it matter? What do you say to your Democrat colleague there, the ranking member who starts raising his voice, threatens to walk out of the proceeding because you referred to a man as Mr.? What do you say to those people who say it is disrespectful for you to call a man who thinks he's a woman Mr.?
Well, Michael, I'm a retired Green Beret. I'm not even sure what all the fuss is about. I mean, he is allowed to live his life. In fact, I spent 25 years on active duty defending his right to live his life as he chooses.
It is pissing me off.
But
the mission.
I don't have to participate in his fantasy. So
really
I am under no obligation to participate in something that he chooses to portray himself as.
They're using all of the misgendering words on purpose. I've never heard somebody he, himself, what?
It's a game to them. See, this is again, this has nothing to do with the merits of the debate at all whatsoever. The cruelty is the point here, right? Because on the merits of the debate, you're going to find, as you dig into the actual data, the actual debate, you realize, oh my God, Republicans lie so much. They lie so much. So it has nothing to do with that because they can't argue based on that. It's about appealing to humanity's cruelty. And there's going to be so many people who fall in line with it. And I'm thinking in my head, it's a lot of black folks who fall in line with this foolishness too, right? They look at this and say, oh yeah, that's definitely a man. And then they buy into the entire, it's kind of like you mentioned sometime when we talk about immigration and how it hurts some of your, Haitian folks that but then they turn around and buy into the misogyny of that same group. It's like we see how easy it is for people to start voting and acting against their own best interest because they agree with the bigotry. And MAGAs know that.
Have we gotten the name of the representative who was sticking up for Mr. McBride? I really would love to see more of his name instead of this other guy, Keith Self, because now I know Keith Self was actually the loser who got up. What's so funny is Representative Keith Self, that woman, because acting like a messy raw, Keith Self is the one that said the meeting was adjourned because sticking 10 toes down on a mission. Yeah, Representative Bill Keating. That is the person that I want to give the praises to. Shout out to you for doing the hard work. I like to see more of that because he ain't know no camera was on him and still did what needed to be done. You understand me? Because this is somebody that is going to hold down the line, as you've been saying, Ben. Hold down the line even when nobody's watching, because this is what this person actually believes on a regular, sunny, gloomy, snowy, sleetful day. Fighting for the rights and protecting people, even the people in his group. You're not going to disrespect somebody.
It takes nothing. It takes nothing out for you. It takes nothing away from you. It doesn't position you in it. It's not all it is a consideration. If somebody tell me their pronouns are they, them, that's how I'm going to refer to them. And I'm going to do it as a matter of discipline because I want to discipline the kind of respect that I could show another human being. These other maggots are just evil. They're evil and they get joy out of it. That clip that they just played, that David just played of the congressperson with Matthew Knowles. I know Matthew Knowles from the Daily Wire, who had a gay sex scene in one of his movies. Right. This guy, he's a failed actor. And one of his only scenes he's known for is because he was in bed with another man in that scene. But now he's making a whole big deal about the transgender community.
They got these secrets and they got these lives and they got all of this. And then they think that they're a born again somebody. And it's like, no.
Michael Knowles. Yes, go ahead.
Like, what are you talking about, sir? Like, you are exactly... I'm pretty sure you wish to be as open and living freely as Representative McBride. The least Keith, who looks like a corpse, could have said was representative, or what? There's so many other. If you just don't want to, there are so many. This person is still a representative, as Bill Keating said. as Representative Bill Keating said. This is still a representative and should be respected as such. So, yes, it is all projection, Tyler. Ooh,
They made me
child,
want to fight. I ain't gonna lie.
No, being for real, it just really
It made me want to fight him. It made me want to fight him.
It made me want. I didn't think I was gonna get that. I seen the video and I had to put it away. And then as we watch it just now, and then we watched the interview, baby, it was like, meet me somewhere.
Pull up.
Like, for real. Because if you really want to, like, that is disrespect. And you can disrespect somebody that has the same rank as you.
Yeah.
And you're mad about it.
And it takes
because somebody got into the white boys club. And you're so mad about it because it's the people that you hate so much. And you didn't think there was going to be a day or somebody that you guys have always oppressed or whatever would be a part of the club and now be a part of making the changes that got them here. And you so mad about it. Go ahead, Ben.
One of the reasons it's because it's a never-ending, bigotry is a never-ending cesspool. It always keeps giving. Once you start down that path of hatred and cruelty, it spreads like cancer and it infects everybody potentially. And you have to actively catch yourself. I had to actively catch myself in my late 20s when I started, because I haven't always been pro LGBTQ rights. I ain't gonna fight. Matter of fact, Becca, remember you, me, and some of the crew, we used to get into it when I started becoming like, you ain't always been pro.
No, that was
we doing better in our old age.
Absolutely. I say this all the time. If people would go back to my tweets from when I was a little girl on the hill, right at FAM, just a young freshman, whatever, there was a Haitian boy that used to get attacked a lot in school. And I began to feel really, really bad for this Haitian boy. They called him Buddy with the Heels. He was Haitian and he was gay. And I believe there was no term at the time that he could identify with. And he would get beat up all the time because he wore heels, and he wore them better than a lot of us. Okay. And he got beat up so much, but on Twitter, they would post him bloody, like black and blue eyes, all the stuff. And because, especially in our culture, it was to dismiss this person. And that was one of the times I began to just look and say, like, this person is who they are. There's no reason that it should result in abuse. They wouldn't even let him in a part of our group at the time, which was the Haitian Culture Club. And then he was one of the leaders in the Haitian Culture Club that I was a part of as well. But it was just so much mess. But before that, my thought process, which was taught to me, in my church. You know, again, I'm Haitian, so there's that. There is a lot of anti-LGBTQIA rhetoric and things, all of that. The things that were taught to me were things that I tried to put on people. And I got checked with real life experience. Mm-hmm. And again, when I even got into politics, there were lots of things I had to unlearn, y'all. And over a decade, I had to unlearn them, because you're taught even things in politics as a child with no knowledge, or as somebody with this or somebody, you literally taught things that make you see it from this little view. And the moment that you remove them, you can actually see everything. And the people that you thought was most respectful were the ones that had their hands in oppressing this group of people, taking away from this group of people, all of those things. And it forced me to change how I view people and treat people, even though I want somebody who would bully or fight, but my thought process on it, I had to fix that too, because that was a part of the problem.
For me, it was me asking myself what type of human I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. Right? Am I, because as a child, and this is the craziest thing, as much as I grew up in church, two of my spiritual fathers in the ministry, my physical dad, Percy Dixon, who's gone, well, actually both of them gone, and Lance Chaney of Boynton Beach. Neither one of them exhibited homophobia in any form. So I'm like, well, where the hell did I get it? So, I mean, obviously it was like maybe high school and, you know, school, you get it real easy. But when I think about it, my dad ain't never, in all the sermons, when he preached Sodom and Gomorrah, he preached, don't look back. He preached about Lot's wife. Like if God has brought you out of something, don't look back. He ain't preached about the gay sex and all that kind of stuff, because scripturally it's not even really there. That's a whole nother conversation. Lance Chaney in Boynton Beach, one thing that he used to do, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at the time. He was always ecumenical. We always had, at least 3 times a year, we had services with a Jewish synagogue, a Muslim temple, and a gay congregation. We had a gay minister who used to get into the pulpit and preach sermons at our missionary Baptist church, black church in public. And at the time I was like, what's going on here? Why are we doing this? Because I was homophobic. And so I slowed down in my late 20s, and I really thought about it, because I used to have visceral reactions to it. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm starting to remind myself of the same people who I talk about who have that visceral reaction to blackness. And so I had to slow down. I was like, wait a minute now, hold on. What kind of human am I going to be? And it was that when I asked myself that question, you know, I actually went through a process of actually sitting and listening. And I still to this day apologize to 2 friends who are gay, because I'm like, I called them, I said, hey, can we talk? And I feel like you know, it's kind of like you get tired of having to explain white supremacy to people. I know they were so tired of having to explain their life to anybody. But here I was, I asked, and I sat down and had conversations with them, and we discussed it and answered questions, all that kind of stuff. And then I just kind of started realizing, wow, I have no logical reason to have this bigotry towards them. And in that way, I started to grow and move away from that. And then the more I moved away from that, the more I realized I literally had no justification. I had no biblical justification, because the way they wrote the story in the Bible is actually wrong. The way they present it, or the way they talk about it, the way they teach it and preach it, the true sin of Sodom and Gomorrah wasn't same-sex attraction, right? Ezekiel talks about what the true sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was, which was their I love the phrasing, the lack of hospitality is one of the things, right? The cruelty that was in Sodom and Gomorrah, and the idol daughters and sons of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? The true sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was the gang rape. That's what see, and when I mess up people all the time when I teach this, I'm like, let me ask you this question. Because if your opposition to same-sex marriage and attraction and all that kind of stuff is based in Sodom and Gomorrah, you got to tell me this. What is it? Would all of Sodom and Gomorrah, would that story have been okay if the men in the city just wanted to rape a woman? Would it have been okay because they came after who they thought was men? Would everything have been okay because they would have been attracted to a woman and they wanted to mob rape a woman? Because that's what the story is about. And most people, when you think about it, you slow down, like, wait a minute, hold on. What are we saying? That it would have been okay for this story? It would have been okay religiously for them to have this violent mob going around raping women? And then unfortunately, there's some Christian nationalists who to today say, yes, they believe that. They believe that. So even if you're standing on religious principles, you're still standing wrong on it.
Because the storyline is wrong. For years and years, I went back and went through it too. And I'm like, there are other places in the Bible y'all ain't even touching, which probably would be a better place for y'all if y'all want to do that. But we don't even go by some of the other stuff. Like it's not even about Old Testament, New Testament. I think that people messed up a lot of the things. That's where we got to come in and talk about that. People messed up a lot of the stuff. We put hate out there. Because of our division, because of all this stuff, we have all of this other stuff in the land, but we try to act like, oh no, this is the only thing that God wanted. But baby, you shacking up.
Come on.
You got about how many kids out of way alive? You over here how many abortions you had?
How many? Wait. Look, go one more further. How many have your priests have molested children? How many of your deacons have had affairs with other women in the church? How many of your youth pastors have touched little kids? Right? If we get really down to nitty gritty, there's not a day that goes by in this country where there are not preachers who preach against homosexuality who are being arrested for molesting children. Come on, it don't something ain't right here. Something don't match up.
And there's not enough hate for those people for me.
None.
So there's so much hate for
they protect them.
And I'm like, you don't have to agree. This is something that people don't like to hear. You don't have to agree with somebody's lifestyle. You don't have to be in their life. You don't have to mention them. You don't have to show up to their stuff. You don't have to do anything. Let that person live and let live and all the things. They got nothing to do with you. There was no reason for you to go and attack or do anything. This person who was working alongside you at your job got that job fair and square. This representative who was elected to represent just like you have been elected to represent should be given the same respect. You've done nothing with your time but make a viral moment right now. Who gave a damn if you were a Green Beret? You embarrassed your country.
Listen, let me tell you something. There's a good chance if you Google any of these senators who got something to say about it, you're gonna find a sexual abuse scandal in their background. Now, I haven't done it for this guy, this Green Beret guy. I haven't done it for him yet, but it hasn't failed me yet. Every time I see somebody complaining about the LGBT community, I just Google their name with sex scandal and something always comes up. Y'all cannot tell me that they have any moral standing to even be in this conversation. MAGA has no moral standing to accuse, to condemn, or to oppress any group, especially not the LGBTQIA community, especially when you consider how many people MAGA, from the president down, have sexually assaulted.
The president down. The president down.
Down the list.
Literally. And you know, this is why we're going, like, even Elon Musk, who's dealing with his own situation at home, you're so anti this. And news has come out that he was very particular about his IVF to make sure that his children allegedly would not be part of the LGBTQIA plus community or look a certain kind of way. He was very, involved in his IVF journey for those particular things, which are very strange. And then ends up with a daughter. Had a son, transitioned into a daughter. Here's your life. You have a daughter now, and has since, they have an estranged relationship. But those are the things, the people that y'all hate the most when it comes to your door. Will you continue to hate your own child? Will you continue to to say that this person needs to be killed or that God doesn't love them? I am somebody who doesn't believe that. I believe that the love that God has is reserved for everybody on earth. If y'all can say it's reserved for the murderer who's doing God knows how much more time, why can't it be for this person who's a part of this LGBTQIA plus community? Or if it's reserved for just the white person, it's definitely for the black folks too. The love of God is not what they're trying to make it be, where it's just coming from white Jesus. I'm sorry. It's for everybody. And that's what makes them mad, that it's that love or the Jesus or whatever that they're trying to reserve just for them is actually not just for them. They mad about it. Anywho, we're at the end of the show. One thing I know, that while the right and Republicans and some of these leaders who are also a part of the Democratic group of people want to exclude you, here on Like It or Not, we won't exclude you. We'll call out your family members in there, but we're not going to exclude you. Everybody gets love over here. You'll get preached on. You'll get loved on. You will get dealt with all over here in one, but the love that we give and we make sure that we pour out on this show is for everybody. It's for everybody. And with that being said, we love you guys who gave the super chats, and we're going to read them. But before we do get to the super chats, our producer has been trying to do this for weeks. He healed now. His neck work a little better. So here look at you. I have not even seen you. Jeez. Oh, wow. Look at David. This is our producer, guys.
I'm alive.
Yes, he is white. If y'all don't know, if y'all didn't know, we might be a real black show, but our producer is white, and this is David. He's on screen. This is an exclusive moment. So, David, talk to the people, let them know what's going on.
So, yeah, I promised an update a couple times, mostly because our audience, our patrons supported and threw in some extra for me where they could, and so I wanted to make sure that it wasn't, that you knew it was true. So I have evidence, although it's not the most graphic, because and who wants to see that? Back in October, I got into a motorcycle accident. And it could have been a lot worse, but it was bad enough. I fractured my neck, like a small fracture.
I feel like you need testimony music. Like Ben needs to be playing the organ or something in the back.
I got some organ music in here.
It was given the time for the people to come up and give their testimony. And this is our producer, Davis. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. It's amazing what a small fracture can do. What just like when you bring up the scan, you can't even they couldn't even show me the fracture. They didn't have and it's amazing. Well, I mean, it wasn't just a fracture. I had to get stitches in my lip because I bit down on my lip when I fell, and got some scuffs otherwise. And I think there was actually a broken rib that they didn't know about that I felt afterwards. The neck was the worst part of it. It's when you lose something, it's crazy. Like you only realize that then, like how much you use something. But after 3 months, I was homebound for about 3 months, and it was challenging. But I'm alive, and for the most part,
thank God for it.
There's some residual pain and discomfort, but I'm hoping that goes away. But I'm alive, and I wanted to just thank everyone for their support and their thoughts. Still not working right now, looking to try to get back on my feet in that area. So support still does help, but I wanted to thank everyone who gave before, and know that I wasn't making anything up.
And you were you weren't. You weren't. And we were riding for you. Look, and I'm the amen corner while the organ is playing in the background because I love it. But let me tell you something, David. They tried to take you out, David. They tried to take you out, brother. David, and the Lord said no. And you look at put up that picture again, because let's show them where you were and where you are today. And I just want the chat to say amen, because look at this. I didn't even know you were looking like that. I didn't even know you grew some hair. That was rough. And now we got you back moving your head. That's enough for us to say amen. And then I'm glad that the chat was able to help you, and we're so glad to have you back. And you were working with us through that time, and I just want the chat to
keep it alive. I almost forgot, but I also wanted to give a small plug. They didn't ask for it, but when I got into the accident, I actually I couldn't get up. I don't know why. Like, I think I was stuck between my bike and the car that I hit. The car was an abandoned car. Like someone left a car on a bridge in the right lane. And when I tried to switch lanes, I didn't have time to stop. But there was a guy that stopped his car. Apparently he's a motorcycle rider too. So I guess he just like saw it and connected, but he helped me up. He got me off the bridge. He rode the motorcycle off the bridge. Called the ambulance, got me on the ambulance. So he without that, I don't know how it would have all unfolded.
He sent an angel,
and he an angel in similar work. It's ironic, but he was because I have to bring this down. Producing and talking at the same time. Now I know what Ben feels like. There we go. He actually started a footwear line called Agency Footwear and teamed up with Harry Belafonte's organization, basically making footwear designed for social justice and protests and messaging. So like the sneakers basically have like removable patches and different designs that kind of go in line with movement building. And so he didn't ask for it. I told him that like he didn't want me to give him anything or send anything for thank you. So I was like, the least I can do is use the that we have to plug what he's doing. So it's agencyfootwear.com.
Come on.
Sneakers are a little expensive, not gonna lie, but just check it out and spread the word.
Somebody got it. Somebody got it. If they got it for Jordans, they got it for Agency Footwear. That's all right to say that. And they cute too. I like them. And you see how he saw you, Brother David, when you didn't see what was in front of you, but somebody was watching you. And when you thought that you were down and out and nobody was seeing you, this person came and was a motorcycle rider as well. So he knew what to do and jump into action. But on top of that, he was in the same work.
Come on, somebody.
As you, my brother. So there was a connection. And anytime you feel down and out and you feel like nobody has you and you're hurt and then this is it for you, there's somebody.
There's a ram in the bush. Come on.
And there you go, right there. I just love all of it. Look, this was a great testimony for you to come on and say, because I didn't even know those details. And I'm so glad that you actually have healed, because didn't even know. I knew that it was bad when you told us about it, which was a scary thing when you even told us about it. But seeing you like that and you still showing up here for us in that moment, God bless you, man. Like, thank you, David, for even rocking with us and singing in solidarity. And shout out to the person who saved your life.
Is that, I'm gonna put it back on the screen, or is it the guy that everyone surrounded and put their hands on his shoulder?
No.
Is he in this video?
No, he keeps a low profile, probably for obvious reasons. This is him right here.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he was,
because we wanted him to be black so bad, but okay.
That's why I didn't. That's why I wasn't really. I was showcasing the message and the product, because
now we got a whole other conversation. Why does white man remember?
It's not about us.
$200 shoes on black people's names.
We wanted him to be black so bad.
But you saved our friend's life.
I know.
You saved our
friend's life, so we're gonna give you a temporary pass.
And we thank you. We thank you.
Rebecca, you and me, we've been doing this thing all. You know each other so well.
I was
waiting
for that to come up. I was like,
I know. Look, David was trying to be like, well, trying to bypass it, but no, we thank you. We're glad. We thank that man for helping. I feel like
Belafonte's organization co-signed it, that it wasn't that it was okay for me to do.
Shout out to the organization. We love y'all. Your founder looked out for our homeboys, so we don't take that lightly. We're glad. We are glad you're doing so much better.
We are glad
than this right here, because boy, man, you got hurt. I didn't realize. I knew it was bad,
and your hair is all dark. And it's
I mean, I wasn't even supposed to take it off, but I took it off because I had to shave at least. I kept a little bit, but it's uncomfortable with like a beard underneath the brace, so I had to take it off occasionally to shave and just function. You're supposed to shower with it on, so it's challenging.
David say I shower. Okay, I'm not one of them. I wash my legs. No,
Rebecca, you didn't want me to even be producing, so you told me to take the 3 months.
Yeah, I did. I said take the time off.
I took a month until I forget. I think it was because Ben was MIA for a little bit, so I was like,
not putting out business.
So
David's good for that, but we love you anyway, David. We love you anyway.
No, Ben's building his church. He's busy on the side, so he's here when he can be. But
he's here all the time now. He shows up every Saturday. He ain't missing there Saturday. He ain't missing there. But I did tell you to take the time off because I said, "Sir, this sounds very, very like bad, and I don't." It's okay. We can struggle a little bit. We've done it before. So but we thank you. Like I didn't
want to have to recuperate, but the truth was I needed it. So like when I told you about it, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna come back. I might need a week. And you're like, no, and you were right, because I wasn't ready. I was not ready to come. Yeah. I was in bed for a good like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glad to see you doing better, brother. Glad to see you.
Let's go ahead and get to these super chats. We love you. Mean it, David. And it's really good to see your face. I really, look at you, handsome. Light skin, because that's what you're giving.
Average melanin count of our show just went down.
It's crazy. As soon as David came on, numbers was going. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, it was really good. It was like
back to work.
It was real bright, David. It was bright, but it was good seeing your cheeks. It
was like this light behind me, just like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on.
Just kidding. They hate it, David. Let me say, when chat get mad when we get on you. Chat is mad. Okay, we love you so much, though, David. But let's do these super chats so we can get out of here. And before we do super chats, listen, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Your girl has to meet rent. Got to meet rent. And so if you can. Yes, please Cash App. I can get it right now. I'll start off with Cash App. I got 3 already, and we can go into our super chats. But thank you guys so far. Vicky Garner, Don Yet, because you got me right. I love your name.
Don Yet. Last initial, first name, last initial.
Yeah, okay. Daniette S. and Stephen C. I appreciate you guys. Listen, your girl's trying to make rent. I ain't gonna hold you. Cash App, Becca's Voice. I can get it right now. I can get it today. Becca's Voice on Cash App. As you can see, things are getting crazy. The computer's starting to stop. Your girl needs to really, I gotta be here. So if y'all can support me in that way, Becca's Voice on Cash App. I really appreciate you, but we're not gonna leave you just there. We did get some super chats, and
a lot of them too. Come on, let's read them.
Yeah, let's go ahead and read them. Oh, hit that like button, folks, and tip your lovely hostess, Becca's Voice on Cash App. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie is over there moderating my chat, keeping it real cute and together, and does not play, because the way I be seeing people's comments disappear is crazy. Yeah, no joke. Omega Star, thank you. New video. I did put up a chat because they do this goal thing now. I don't know if you see it on your chat, Ben, where you can put a goal up on your chat, and mine was dropping a new video tomorrow. I'm dropping it tomorrow. So thank you, Omega.
Nice.
Victoria, I really appreciate it. Look, I don't know whose chat these are on, but I'm just gonna appreciate them because you're watching the show. Thank you, Victoria. Really, really appreciate it.
All these are yours so far. Every one of them been on your channel so far.
I appreciate that. Sophie, thank you so much for your super sticker. Or So Life. Why do I always want to say Sophie? You see, eyes be doing things. Charlie, again, this is more of that UK labor pivot crap, which appeals to their laziness. I forgot what we were talking about. And yes, whatever you said, I believe it. Forever Fancy. I love you guys. Mean it. Love you too. Mwah. Mean it. Tropical Ding Dong. Apologies from Hawaii for Tulsi Gabbard. Brian Schatz and Ed Case. One of the most progressive states has blue dogs for Congress.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess, when you consider what the United States did to Hawaii, maybe this is just our comeuppance. We deserved it. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. Ma Dukes, the poet, Ma Dukes. The picture is too adorable, first of all. But Jared Moskowitz is a traitor to the Democratic Party.
Agreed. And he's going to be that until he comes out and apologizes. And every time our friends at Midas Touch promotes him, we're going to have to come after Midas Touch. Not that we want to, I'm super supportive of the fact that they're the biggest podcast in the country. But if you're going to support a traitor, we got an issue.
Yeah. Absolutely. Every single time. It's always going to be a problem on site. Please do tell King Jill. Thank you so much. Please do tell the gyms to step up or get out the way. Schumer needs to go. Can't believe that head fake he did on CR. If folks would read these bills, they would be out in the streets already. Would they though? Because it's getting crazy now. I don't even know if they want to get out in the streets, Candace Owens, Marxist body double, listening to the hogs scream at their congresspersons in a new ASMR meta. That's funny. Tropical Ding Dong, whoever you are, I think you're new in my chat. I'm just meeting you, but I really appreciate. I like your commentary in my chat. If y'all cover it, I will organize a group to go protest at Rep. Ed Case's congressional office for censuring Al Green. I got a plan. I just need backup in media to make sure it gets coverage. So if you do it, send the footage. We'll put that up.
Look, I will share it through all of my networks, all my social medias. Just don't do nothing illegal, right?
I was gonna say, and don't go there acting a plum donkey. Just go ahead and protest like you said it. Tropical Ding Dong. We will definitely support. And I love the picture that you got up too. Y'all cute little Abbies. Charlie, for a little good news, had my last day at MAGA infested work yesterday. Tomorrow I leave to train for my new job where I work with other trans women like me. Thank you so much, Charlie, for sharing that. I love when people get out of there if you can. Those infested places. I understand what that's like as well, to be in a place where it's just and it's true, if your beliefs do not match where your work environment either, it will weigh on you something crazy. It will weigh on you something heavy. It really will. So I'm happy you got out of there. Thank you for your testimony. Charlie, once again, mission to the haters. And when they say, but tell them, prove it, and dismiss all their proof.
That's what we live in right now. And I say we return the favor.
Robert, the $22. The fee things I dislike
few
about
things,
media.
maybe?
The free things I dislike.
Few.
A few things, yeah, Ben got me together. The few things, Professor Ben, I dislike about Midas Touch is that when they speak about Palestine, the main host never brings up Palestine unless it is to blame voters on last election and ignored Bernie progressives until now.
Yeah.
Like Midas Touch, how come I'm just not privy to that? Like I know it's a group of people who have a podcast, I think, and I've heard about it, but I've not until now, I think, really went in and to get in on how poisonous these people
it's
are.
what those people who we started with, 8 years ago, is what they wanted to build through social media and YouTube. So they have a Facebook, YouTube, social media platform that's outgrown Joe Rogan. So shout out to them for doing that. But at the same time, what Robert is saying here is absolutely true. Like this unity and the solidarity that we have with folks like Midas Touch is tenuous. We have some outstanding issues, right? And some of those issues is how they view, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's probably best that they don't talk about it, right? Because if they talked about it, then we probably would not be able to even have any solidarity with them at all whatsoever. Because when it comes to Palestine and Gaza, it's like if you do not see the genocide that happened, or if you enabled it in any way, or you justified it in any way, David Pakman, we can't even be down no more. So yeah.
No, that's right. Thank you, being Nancy, for your super sticker. Tracy Eva, thank you so much for your super sticker. Where are you, Tracy? You're one of my avid supporters. I see you all the time. Where are you, Tracy? Where are you located? I always wanted to know that. UK. Look, we got people. I love when we just are like when we're just so international. I also wanted to get this not super chat, this Cash App from Robert White. Keep it up. Great show. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Robert. And I said your full name. My God, that's probably not the name you go by.
First name, last initial.
It's so I can't get that out of my head just to read. But I appreciate you guys. I just dropped a new segment of things, and it's called Let's Be Clear. It's going to be that's going to be my monologues. I found a place to get some thoughts off, and it's going to be where my monologues are going to be about whatever issue it may be. Your girl has things to say, and now I can put them to words in the short amount of time. How we used to do it, like it or not, when we were in studio, Ben, those moments that we would do, and I would just get some thoughts off real quick. This one is called Let's Be Clear. I dropped the first one, and that is about actually what happened over at MSNBC. And what's interesting, and we'll get out of here after this because that's your girl. MSNBC, about how their attack on Black women isn't just something that just happened for Tiffany Cross or from just most recently Joy-Ann Reid. They started back when me and Ben were over there doing Like It or Not in its first edition. They started back with Hill Perry. Am I getting it right? Melissa Hill Perry.
Melissa Harris Perry.
Melissa Harris Perry. And started back with her. I remember like it was yesterday when that happened. She was on there from first of all, that was her own show. They brought it to MSNBC, and her whole crew was at MSNBC working with her. Right. And they cut her when Donald Trump and his business and all his other crappy stuff was becoming the front news, was becoming the A block, was becoming that, just like they needed to cover him doing every little thing. And she's like, well, let me get my thoughts off like I usually do. She was coming into work. Oh, I was real cute. But like, let me get into work and let me get my thoughts off. And they weren't even telling her that they were not going to put her program up on the scheduled time anymore. They were just not doing it. And when she called them out, MSNBC, they preempted her. They started to say, okay, keep playing with us. We're not going to put your stuff up. And she had to walk away because she knew it was going to happen. And when we got down to recently, earlier this year, with what happened a few weeks ago with Joy-Ann Reid, she tweeted out like, listen, I already told y'all what it was going to be after me. And this is what it was. And people are in my comment section. It's interesting to see the arguments, but people are like, Joy-Ann Reid said things about Foundation of Black Americans, so she had to go. Or Melissa Harris Perry has always been problematic because remember at that time, Ben, it was not because journalism had to be, and the only people that could really say things that were outside of the biased approach was, or the unbiased approach was people like Rachel Maddow and the other people on CNN. And the ones who had the audacity to do it were clipped from CNN too. Remember Roland Martin, who had his moments? And remember, there was another, I forgot his name, a Hispanic man. They cut him. He came in with Roland Martin. We had all these people that were a part of the brown and Black communities that were clipped from these places because they don't actually want to hear our voices on yes, Ben. They don't actually want to hear our voices when it comes to any issues. And when it was Donald Trump, I think our voices should have been the loudest in the room. Honestly, when it comes to issues, because a lot of the things that he's putting out there are affecting our communities the most. But they didn't want us to have a say. And Melissa, they did not want her say. They wanted to preempt her, move her shows to the side, and put in Donald Trump content in place of that. And that's why she walked. So just to be clear, the same thing basically happened right now with Joy-Ann Reid after she came in 2020, right? That was the Black revolution, the Black evolution, the Blackness that was coming back. Black Lives Matter era 2.0 came out. And Black people were profitable. Our pain was profitable. Our voices were profitable. So they put Black people, particularly Black women, in seats. Joy-Ann Reid is a true journalist. She's a true journalist. She wasn't just an analyst, she's a true journalist, and they cut her. Tiffany Cross was somebody who came in with the type of fire that we see from people like Melissa Harris Perry and other. They put her on because they needed her voice. But when it was too much and the dust started to settle and the DEI that we see at Target happened, that was also happening in the media world. They had to cut those people as well. So take a look at my video. I'm going to drop another one on tomorrow, and we're going to discuss the Muslim ban 2.0, and it's including Haitians, Caribbean countries. All right, listen, Cash App, Becca's Voice. Ben, is there anything else you want to say?
See y'all tomorrow.
I'll see tomorrow. Church.
For those that come, I see them tomorrow at church, and that will see
we'll see you guys tomorrow at church.
And then the rest of y'all will see y'all through the week.
We'll see you through the week. We might even we might do something through the week, man. You want to do something through the week?
You know, it's up to you. Let me know. You know,
listen, on my break, we could definitely do something through the week. Listen, I'll see you guys somewhere through the week. Saturdays for sure. I love y'all. Mean it. Please go enjoy yourself.
Holla.
Is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for like it or not. We're about to let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for like it or not. We're about to start this damn show like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life ish. I live in life in the ATL.